Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FluentCast Studio. I'm so excited you're here with us today because we've got something really special lined up.
Hey there. Yeah, today's topic is actually something I personally struggled with for years when I was learning languages.
Oh, really? Well, you're not alone. So many learners face the same problem. You know what I'm talking about. That moment when someone asks you a question in English and your brain immediately starts translating everything back to your native language.
Exactly. And then you translate your answer back into English before you speak. It takes forever and makes conversations feel so awkward and slow.
Right. So today we're going to teach you the Think in English method. This is going to change everything for you. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly how to stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English.
And we're not just going to tell you to just think in English like some people do. We're going to give you actual practical steps you can start using today.
Before we dive in, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for FluentCast Studio. We put out new episodes regularly to help you speak English more naturally and confidently.
All right, so here's a question for you listening right now. Do you find yourself translating in your head when you speak English? Drop a comment and let us know. We really want to hear about your experience.
Great question. I bet almost everyone listening is nodding their head right now.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about why this happens and how we can fix it permanently.
So first, we need to understand what's actually happening in your brain when you translate.
When you're learning English, your brain naturally wants to connect new English words to words you already know in your native language. It's like building a bridge.
Right, and that's actually normal at the beginning. When you're just starting out, translation can help you understand basic vocabulary. But here's the problem. The problem is that this bridge becomes a habit. Every single time you want to say something, you take this route. Your native language, then translate to English. Someone speaks to you in English, you translate to your language to understand, then translate back to answer.
And that's exhausting. Plus, it makes you slow. Real conversations happen fast. You can't keep up if you're translating everything.
Exactly. So here's what thinking in English actually means. It means connecting English words directly to meanings, feelings, and images, not to words in another language.
Let me give you an example. When I say the word apple, what happens in your mind?
Well, if you're translating, you might think apple, then the word for apple in your language, then the image of an apple. That's 3 steps.
But if you're thinking in English, you hear apple and immediately see the red fruit in your mind. Just 2 steps. You skip your native language completely.
And the same thing works with more complex ideas. When I say, I'm feeling tired, you shouldn't translate each word. You should just connect to the feeling of being tired.
Now, here's the key principle. Your brain can only build this direct connection through repeated exposure and practice in English. You can't think your way into it, you have to experience your way into it.
That's such an important point. You can't just decide, okay, now I'm going to think in English and have it work. Your brain needs to build new pathways, and that takes specific practice.
So how do we do that? How do we build these new pathways? That's what we're going to teach you today.
The first step is understanding the 3 levels of thinking in English. There's the word level, the sentence level, and the conversation level.
At the word level, you connect individual English words directly to their meanings. At the sentence level, you understand whole English sentences without translating. And at the conversation level, you're thinking and responding entirely in English.
Most learners get stuck at the word level. They know what individual words mean, but they still translate full sentences.
So we need to practice at all 3 levels. And here's the good news. You can start today, right now, even if you're a beginner. You don't need to be advanced to start thinking in English.
In fact, the sooner you start, the better. So let's talk about practical methods you can use today.
Perfect. And listeners, here's a question for you. Which level do you think you're at right now? Word level, sentence level, or conversation level? Leave a comment and let us know.
Okay, so the first practical technique we're going to teach you is called the labeling method. This is perfect for building those direct connections at the word level.
This is actually how children learn their first language, and it works beautifully for language learners too.
Here's what you do. As you go through your day, label everything you see in English, and I mean everything.
So, for example, you wake up in the morning and you see your alarm clock. In your mind, you say, alarm clock. You don't translate it, you just label it in English while looking at it.
Then you get out of bed. You say, bed, while looking at it. You walk to the bathroom. You say, bathroom. You turn on the light. You say, light switch.
I know it sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but this is incredibly powerful. You're training your brain to connect English words directly to objects.
And you can expand this beyond just objects. You can label actions, too. When you're brushing your teeth, think, I'm brushing my teeth. When you're making coffee, think, I'm making coffee.
Notice how we're using the present continuous there. I'm brushing, I'm making. This is more natural because it's describing what's happening right now.
Great point. And you can also label feelings and sensations. If you're feeling cold, think, I'm cold. If you're hungry, think, I'm hungry.
Now, here's the key. You have to do this consistently, every single day. Make it a habit. Start with just 5 minutes a day if that's all you can manage.
5 minutes of labeling everything around you in English. Then gradually increase it. Try to have English running in your mind as much as possible during your daily activities.
I'll be honest, when I first started doing this, I felt a bit silly talking to myself in my head all the time.
Oh, me too. But you know what? It works. After a few weeks, you'll notice that English words start popping into your head automatically.
Exactly, and that's when you know it's working. The English words come first before any translation.
Now, let's make this even more effective. Try using full sentences when you label things, not just single words.
So instead of just thinking coffee, think this is my coffee, or I want some coffee, or this coffee smells good.
Yes, because this builds your sentence-level thinking, too. You're not just connecting words to meanings, you're building natural English sentence patterns.
And here's a pro tip. Add emotions and opinions to your labeling. Don't just say, this is my coffee. Say, this is my delicious coffee, or I love this coffee.
Why is that important? Because when you add emotion, your brain remembers better. The connection becomes stronger.
Absolutely. Your brain is wired to remember things that have emotional significance.
Okay, so here's your homework. For the next week, practice the labeling method every single day. Start with just your morning routine. Label everything you see, do, and feel.
And here's what I want you to do. After you've practiced for a few days, come back and leave a comment telling us about your experience. Did you find it easy or difficult? Did you notice any changes? We really want to hear from you.
All right, so we've covered the labeling method for words and simple sentences. Now let's talk about the self-talk method. This is going to help you think in English at the sentence and conversation level.
This is one of my favorite techniques because you can do it anywhere, anytime, and it's actually kind of fun.
So what is self-talk? It's basically having a conversation with yourself in English. You're narrating your thoughts, describing what you're doing, asking yourself questions, and answering them.
Let me give you an example. Let's say you're getting ready to go to the store. Instead of thinking in your native language, you talk to yourself in English.
You might say something like, okay, I need to go to the store. What do I need to buy? Let me think. I need milk, bread, and some vegetables. Oh, and I should get some fruit, too.
See how that works? You're having a whole conversation with yourself in English. You're asking questions and answering them.
And this is so much more natural than just labeling individual words. This is how you actually think in real life, right? We don't just think in single words, we think in sentences and ideas.
Exactly. And the beautiful thing is, when you practice self-talk, you're also practicing the kind of English you'll actually use in conversations.
Right, because you're using natural phrases like, let me think, and, oh, and I should. These are the kinds of expressions native speakers use all the time.
Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I don't know enough English to talk to myself for very long.
That's okay. Start simple. Even if you can only manage a few sentences, that's great. The important thing is to try.
And when you don't know a word, don't switch back to your native language. This is crucial. Try to describe what you mean using the English you do know.
Yes. So if you don't know the word vegetables, you could say the green food or healthy food like carrots. It doesn't have to be perfect.
This is actually really good practice because it teaches you to work around vocabulary gaps, which is a super important skill for real conversations.
Absolutely. Native speakers do this too when they can't think of a word. They describe it instead.
Now, let's talk about different types of self-talk you can practice. First, there's narration. That's describing what you're doing as you do it.
Like, I'm walking to the kitchen. I'm opening the refrigerator. I'm taking out the milk.
Then there's planning. That's talking about what you're going to do.
Today, I'm going to finish my work, then I'll call my friend, and maybe I'll watch a movie tonight.
There's also reflection. That's thinking about things that happened.
That meeting was really interesting. I learned a lot about the new project. I'm excited to start working on it.
And finally, there's problem solving. That's working through a problem or decision in your mind.
Should I take the bus or walk? The weather is nice, so... Okay, so we've given you these great methods, but now let's talk about the mistakes people make when they're trying to think in English. Because honestly, I made all of these mistakes myself.
Oh, me too. And these mistakes can actually slow down your progress. So let's make sure you avoid them.
Mistake number 1 is trying to translate complex ideas too early. A lot of learners try to think in English about really complicated topics before they're ready.
Yeah, like trying to think through a philosophical debate in English when you're still at an intermediate level.
Right, so here's what happens. You can't do it, you get frustrated, and you give up on thinking in English altogether.
The better approach is to start simple. Think in English about everyday basic things first. What you're eating, what you see, simple plans. Build up gradually.
Exactly. Don't try to run before you can walk. There's no shame in starting with simple thoughts.
Mistake number 2 is switching back to your native language the moment you don't know a word.
Oh, this is such a common one. You're doing great, thinking in English, then you hit a word you don't know and boom, you switch back.
But here's the thing. Every time you switch back, you're reinforcing that translation habit. You're telling your brain, when things get hard, go back to your native language.
So what should you do instead? Try to describe the word using English you already know, or just skip that word and keep going in English.
Yes, it's better to have a slightly incomplete thought in English than to switch back to translation.
Mistake number 3, and this is a big one, is expecting results too fast.
Oh, wow, yeah. People try thinking in English for like 2 days and then say, it's not working. I still translate everything.
But think about it. You've been thinking in your native language for your entire life. Your brain has had years or decades to build those pathways.
Right, so you can't expect to rewire your brain in just a few days. This takes weeks and months of consistent practice.
The good news is that you will see progress if you stick with it, but you need to be patient with yourself.
Absolutely. I'd say most people start noticing real changes after about 3 to 4 weeks of daily practice.
And the final mistake is only practicing when you're studying English. A lot of people think, okay, it's my English study time, now I'll think in English.
But thinking in English shouldn't be separate from your daily life. The goal is to integrate it into everything you do.
Exactly. Think in English when you're cooking, walking, exercising, shopping. Make it part of your normal life, not a special activity.
Because here's the truth. If you only think in English during study time, you're probably only doing it for 30 minutes or an hour a day. That's not enough to build a real habit.
But if you integrate it into your daily life, you could be thinking in English for several hours a day, even while you're doing other things.
And that's when the magic happens. That's when English stops being a foreign language and starts becoming a natural part of how you think.
All right, let's do some interactive practice right now. I'm going to give you some situations, and I want you to practice thinking in English out loud.
And yes, I really mean out loud. Even if you're alone, speak these thoughts out loud. It helps your brain process the language differently than just thinking silently.
Okay, situation 1, you're making breakfast. What would you say to yourself in English? I'll give you a second to think about it.
Here's what I might say. Okay, what should I have for breakfast today? Maybe some eggs. Yeah, eggs sound good. I'll make scrambled eggs with some toast.
Perfect. See how natural that sounds? Now you try it. Pause the episode if you need to and practice saying something about making breakfast.
Situation 2. You're looking out the window at the weather. Describe what you see and what you think about it.
I'll give you an example. Wow, it's really cloudy today. I think it might rain. Maybe I should bring an umbrella when I go out.
Nice! Your turn. Describe the weather where you are right now in English.
Situation 3. You're deciding what to wear today. Walk through that decision in English.
Here's mine. What should I wear? It's a bit chilly, so I'll need a sweater. Maybe my blue sweater? Yeah, that one's comfortable.
Okay, now here's a slightly harder one. Situation 4. You just had a conversation with a friend and you're thinking about it afterwards.
This one requires a bit more language, but try your best. Here's my example. That was a nice talk with Sarah. She seems really happy about her new job. I should remember to ask her about it next time I see her.
See how that works? You're using past tense, you're making observations, you're planning for the future. That's advanced thinking.
And here's your final challenge. For the rest of today, whenever you're doing something routine, try to narrate it in English, even just for 30 seconds at a time.
And then, come tell us how it went. Leave a comment on this episode and let us know. Was it easy, difficult? What did you learn about yourself?
We really do read the comments, and we love hearing about your progress. Your success stories motivate us to keep making these episodes.
Wow, we've covered so much today. Let's do a quick recap of everything we learned about thinking in English.
First, we talked about why translation happens. It's a natural bridge your brain builds when learning a new language, but it becomes a habit that slows you down.
Then we learned that thinking in English means connecting English words directly to meanings, images, and feelings, not to words in your native language.
We covered the labeling method, where you label everything you see, do, and feel throughout your day in English. This builds direct word-to-meaning connections.
And we learned the self-talk method, where you have conversations with yourself in English. You narrate, plan, reflect, and problem solve all in English.
We also talked about common mistakes. Don't try to think about complex topics too early. Don't switch back to your native language when it gets hard. Don't expect instant results, and don't limit your practice to study time only.
The key takeaway is this. Thinking in English is a skill you build through consistent practice. It won't happen overnight, but if you practice every single day, you will get there.
And remember, you don't need to be perfect. Even if you can only think in English for a few seconds at a time right now, that's amazing. That's progress.
Every little bit counts. Every time you choose to think in English instead of translating, you're building those new pathways in your brain.
So here's my question for you. What's one situation in your daily life where you're going to practice thinking in English? Your morning routine, your commute, cooking dinner?
Choose one specific time and commit to it. Then leave a comment and tell us what you chose. This helps you commit to actually doing it.
And if you found this episode helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Fluentcast Studio. We release new episodes regularly with practical tips just like these.
Share this episode with a friend who's also learning English. These methods work for everyone, and it's actually more fun to practice with a friend.
And remember, learning English is a journey. Some days will feel easy, some days will feel hard, but every day you practice, you're getting closer to fluency.
You've got this. We believe in you, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today at Fluentcast Studio. We can't wait to hear about your progress in the comments. Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and we'll see you next time.